Welcome everyone to Center of Light Radio. Keith Anthony Blanchard here. Yanava, power up and spread the light on this Wednesday night. Center of Light Radio, Center of Divine Unfoldment and Reinforcement. Strap in all my brother and sister astronauts as we launch for inner space. Center of Light Radio. Radio to ignite the soul and the transformation station. Step right up. I love these things, man. I love them. So I'm going to keep going. Step right up, right up. Welcome to the greatest show on earth, actually in the universe. Listen to me. Wow. And all beings adrift in the cosmic life stream want a piece of the action. They want a piece of your action. They wishing they were you. You are the apex of creation. A human being. There are souls waiting in line to be born into the human experience. And you've been doing this forever. Forever. And that's cool and that's beautiful because you have the free will to do that. But when you choose, you can always go home. Home, meaning back to not a place, but a space. That inner space I talked about. All you astral knots. Welcome to Center of Light Radio. Share this abroad. All you dudes and broads. Take that into context as intended. In this forum, you will find an ellipsis that says, notify me when Keith goes live. Do that. Notify yourself when I go live. I'm alive and I'm full of fire. And I like spreading that fire like wildfire. Let's not lose sight of what's happening in the Amazon rainforest. There's a fire. Fires all over the world now. In Africa and other places. I did say months ago, the fire's coming. The firestorm. There's a storm coming for all of us. It's not doom and gloom and it's not fear. What I am saying is something is coming, something is here and happening that burns away everything that is transient. It's done. It's done. Notre Dame Cathedral, collapse, fire, rainforest, fire. If you know me, you watch my lives, you know that I go into the cave of Samadhi, spiritual unity with God. It's about fire. Speaking of fire, some years ago, I love this. I love the synchronicity of this. My guest tonight happens to be the same name as my son. My wife at the time and myself were looking for a 2-column list. Grayson Sky, Grayson Eden, Eden Grayson, and all these names. And I just said Eden Sky, and we looked at each other and we knew. We knew from soul to bones. That's what we're going to call this angelic cherub of a boy. So a few years go by, and I write a children's book series. I'm starting to, at least. I did one installment already called Eden Sky Wonders Why, about this beautiful little boy who asks his single dad all these big questions that no one wants to tackle. Dad, where do kids come from? How do I get to heaven? Why do little kids get sick and die? All these big questions. That's the series. And so after this for a while, I decided to get on Google to see how things were doing. And I typed in Eden Sky. And this beautiful lady showed up. And I was like, oh, I got to check this out. And then it led me into the rabbit hole. She's just like me. I'm just like her. We're just like we. And I had her on Center of Light Radio a few years ago. When I was with Inception Radio Network, I have been doing radio, video, 10 years. Thousands of interviews I have done with guests. Thousands of interviews I have done as a teacher. I am grateful to play in that arena, and I'm so happy that you're here playing with me in this cosmic sandbox. Eden Sky. I love it. This is so crazy good. Eden Sky. I'm going to be thinking about my child every time I say her name tonight. Eden Sky and I are going to be playing in the cosmic sandbox and tell you, share with you, express to all of us. In fact, we're going to express this to ourselves. We're going to echo this within ourselves. That it's time to awaken your cosmic self. Let me get down to some quick adverts. I want to get this beautiful lady, powerful lady. She's going to, come on baby, light my fire. September 21st and 22nd, 4-Point Spiritual Expo. Hello. Through wholeness, holistic wellness practices, September 21st and 22nd, and Memphis, Tennessee, crystals and stones, nutrition, holistic medicine, services, environmentally conscious businesses, spiritual readers. I'm sure there are going to be a slew of them. Authors, paranormal investigators, researchers, Akashic records, oh dear Lord, as Medea would say, auric photography, free and paid workshops, food trucks, and lots of entertainment. Keynote speakers, check this out. Dr. Rita Louise, pint-size powerhouse. Dr. Jason Rand, author, radio host. Larry Flaxman from Discovery Channel, Ancient Aliens. Check that out. Keynote speaker. Lynette Marie, medicine woman, pure health warrior. Yours truly is going to be a keynote speaker. Sunday night, I believe it's 6 o'clock. We're going to have a keynote speaker panel talking about everything that is beyond measure. And it costs you nothing, because my shake hands deal with this expo is to be the media guy kind of thing. So I'm going to record all of this and I'm going to send this out live. So if you can't come to Memphis, Tennessee, which I recommend, a road trip is always cool. Hang out with me on Friday if I'm playing music. If not, we wake up, go get some breakfast. You can buy me breakfast. And we head over to the 4-Point Spiritual Expo to find out more about this event. For 2 days, it's $20 or $15 a day. You want to know more about this, you can contact me here in this forum. You can contact me in my Facebook inbox or Keith Anthony Blanchard at Gmail. So Keith, I want to know about this Circle of Chi, sponsored, created, Circle of Chi, Circle of QI on Facebook, as well as the internet. Tonight we're going to go into the internet. I look forward to seeing you at this powerful event. September 21st and 22nd. Let me look at it, see if I have any other notes. I do have one more thing I'm going to say when we get down to some Center Light Radio bizwax. Hello, everyone. Very soon, within a month, I'm giving it time to marinate, collect its flavor, do what it needs to do, so I can feel when it's appropriate. I'm not gung-ho. I'm not in a hurry. Everything I do is with purpose, passion, sincerity, humility, and vulnerability. And within all those is an amazing recipe for bliss and ecstasy for the rest of your life. This course is titled Power, Connection, and Purpose. 6 week bust you wide open course. I don't jack around. If you come into this course, be willing to dive into the fire of who you are. Online video forum, as you're seeing now, no one has access but you. I'm going to offer those 4 models. Passion is the active, sincerity is the passive, humility, and vulnerability. You will have an immediate experience. This sounds like a shortcut to spirituality. Goddamn right it does, and it's purposeful, because some people need that palpability, if that's such a word. I just coined a word. Tangibility, that which seems, oh my God, this is real. There you have it. I'm going to throw you into the fire. It's going to be in a Q&A format. Anytime you want to ask, it requires a very small fee, and I will take payments. Oh my God, Keith, that sounds contradictory. Small fee payments? It's for your benefit. It's not what you think. You will not get this level. Maybe you will. And if you are getting it from any teacher, God bless them for pouring out their heart and making it easily accessible for everyone. But it really requires one thing. All of you. All of you. Because when you come into the forum, I don't jack around. I'm going to throw you into the fire. We're going to take a short pause. Welcome to Center of Light Radio. Hello, Susan Filio Price. Everyone, you are a blessing in my life. You are my life. And I am glad to be of service. Lavender Soul, brand new album coming out. Not soon. We're working on a new album comprised of members of the Memphis Symphony Orchestra. We started writing this album about a month ago. I am so excited. Let me change my screen. When I go into these modes, I close my eyes and I go into vessel mode. So how about some Lavender Soul? Here's the album, the last album we did. I'm going to play a song from this album. Let's see. Here we go. Your life is a choice. Your life, in fact, is an ongoing, never-ending prayer, whether you're in formal prayer or not. What are you praying? What are you saying? You, Broham Sandwich, Sistar, have a choice. Make it a conscious one.
Remember that all things are possible. You must choose to be accountable, responsible, enough to believe, and open your heart to receive.
Welcome back to Center of Light. Yanava here. What is Yanava? We're going to bring my guest on shortly. Yanava. This is very integral stuff to the beautiful. When she sent me the title of this show, I was like, my God, I'm on the same page. I love the title of this show, Time to Awaken Your Cosmic Self. So how do we do that? One aspect, when I was given this wisdom, check this out. God realized man from India. This man, who I've been blessed and have been and going to be blessed again to interview him September 25th, live on Center of Light Radio. Many years ago, I heard this. I asked in meditation, what is my soul's name? And it said Yanava. And I've been using Yana O, Center of Light, and all these different variations. So a year or so ago, I asked him in the interview, I said, one more question. He said, yes. I said, what does this mean? Yanava. And it almost took him back, as if he was surprised that I would know that. He says, listen to me very carefully. He says, Yaha, Yah is the sound of the heart. It's God, it's will, power. Na is the mind when it's balanced, not the monkey mind. Na, discernment, reason, intelligence when it's balanced. And Va is the backbone. Ya, na, Va. So the ritual that you say to yourself every morning, this is what I do. You don't have to do what I do. Make up your own. It's even more powerful. When I put my feet on the floor and I come to the room, I say, Yanava, it has begun. As I plant my feet upon this floor, plant yourself within me forevermore. And I say, Yanava, it is complete when I go to bed. This is how you begin to awaken your cosmic self. These are 3 sacred seed syllables to everything that you are. Yaha, Naha, Vaha. It's time to get down to some Center Light Radio beeswax. Let me tell you about my guest tonight, which I'm excited. I love the fact that she has the same name as my son, or my son has the same name as hers. My guest tonight is Eden Sky, and we're going to be talking about time to awaken your cosmic self. Eden Sky has dedicated her life to sharing the life-changing wisdom of galactic time. Since 1995, she has created annual Galactic Calendars. That is no joke. Based on the teachings of Dr. José, oh God, I'm going to give it my best attempt, Argüelles. She is an author, publisher, teacher, and Galactic Culture Visionary. As a lifelong messenger, Eden Sky has given numerous presentations, workshops, and interviews sharing the purpose and power, God, I love that word, of living in harmony with natural time, and is recognized worldwide as a leading source of knowledge on this subject. She has attended countless international summits focused on galactic time, including a 7-week residential Earth Wizard Seminary, studying directly under that beautiful man, Jose, with kin from around the world. Eden Sky has also had the supreme honor of participating in many indigenous ceremonies and receiving teachings directly from Maya elders in both Mexico and Guatemala, as well as ongoing studies of many native traditions from North and South America. Eden's mission is bridging universal teachings of wisdom and compassion with the intelligence of cosmic cycles, that we may actualize our potential in this epic moment on the planet. For more about my powerful guest, visit, let me get that address. In fact, I'm going to grab it. I'm going to grab this address. Give me one moment. And we're going to drop it into the forum, because I want you guys to stomp the living out all over her page. Just do it. Just do it. And there we go. Let's see. Let me get my software. Welcome to Center of Light, Eden Sky. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, Keith.
Let's get the first order of business going. Let me do this. Hang on. Just because it's fun.
Where's my glasses?
So I contacted Eden Sky about a month ago, and asked her to come back on Center of Light Radio. And she has sent me one of her new calendars. And I decided, why not open it up live on the air so I can get the same wow factor at the same time you do. So the first thing I have here is Time is Art. How beautiful is that? Kaboom. Look at the earth in light. You know I'm all about some of that. So now let me delve into this. Oh my God. Wow. Are these for sale? Obviously. We're going to get into all that. Check out this cover. I want to peruse this real quick. Oh my gosh. Check that out. Isn't that amazing? Let's start off, girl. Let's dive right in. Tell us about this beautiful expression of your heart.
Well, I've been making galactic calendars for 24 years, and they're based on the teachings of José Argüelles, is how you say his name. And really, you can summarize the whole teaching into an inner paradigm shift out of the idea program that time is money into the reality that time is art. So that's actually the central motto used by people all around the world who live in galactic time. So this idea that time is art, I would say you, Keith, are a perfect example of someone who is aligned with that understanding. You obviously make life art, and that's the idea, is to redefine our comprehension and our relationship to time, but also to redefine our concept of art. So art is not just limited to ballet and being a musician and being a poet, being a painter. The teachings from Dr. José Argüelles is that when we connect to our true selves, when we connect to our true capacities as creative instruments of the universe, which we really only need to be present in our hearts in order to do so, present in the now moment, we become artists. Everything that we do can become art. So the way that we wash the dishes, the way that we raise our children, the way that we navigate conflict, all of this can become art. And the idea that José Argüelles put forward is that we can all take our places as planetary artists who are here to uplift all of the earth as a living work of art. So but what José Argüelles' teachings are to help us open our creative capacities by specifically transforming our relationship to time and awakening to a higher dimensional experience of time. So as you all know, our sort of our current idea in society and in culture is not only that time is money, but also we've all been programmed and unconsciously inherited a relationship to time where time is purely linear. And we think the past is behind us and we're going on a straight line towards the future. And this linear concept of time, we don't think about it, we don't talk about it, we don't question it. We just are programmed by it, and it permeates everything. And it's founded on being limited to the third dimension. It's founded on only making real what we can perceive with our five senses. And the reality is that we are multidimensional beings, and that time is not just linear. That is an expression, a limited expression of it. Time is not just linear. Our lives are not linear. We do not live within a linear universe. So José Argüelles' teachings are literally that time in its true essence is time is the fourth dimension. And as many of you know, the fourth dimension is the realm of mind, where everything is connected, everything is one. So we all access the fourth dimension in our dream time, in our imagination. We access it in the astral. We access it when we have deja vu, precognition, premonition, intuition. So it's the realm where everything is interconnected. And what José Argüelles' teachings are is he actually has mapped the fourth dimension using simple language of mathematics. And that's what the Galactic Calendar is. It's actually a very simple, easy, fun way to connect.
So would you say that this is actually the doorway to a more infinite experience versus, in other words, it opens up the door to infinity versus, it helps us to get out of time. This idea, this calendar, this beautiful expression of yours. So it's, as we go through this, we understand alignments, how to move in it, what to do to put you to further your feet down that particular path of whatever star system, alignments, galactic, astrological things that might be happening. Yes?
It is a portal.
Love it.
To access, it is a portal to access your personal connection to the fourth dimension, to the fourth dimensional nature of time in which everything is interconnected. And then from there, you access even beyond, even the higher dimensions. And it is a personal, unique experience. Everyone who utilizes the calendar and tracks the codes and the cycles, which again are actually very simple, everyone will have their own specific experience, because the calendar is actually it's a living being. It's a living matrix of intelligence that, as we interact with it in very simple ways, the magic that it is, which is actually just the magic of the universe, which is the magic of our own selves as the microcosm and the macrocosm, reveals itself to us. And the whole point is to experience the actual ongoing magic of synchronicity in a conscious way, where we begin to literally, consciously, truly not just understand, but actually see and be able to map out the ways that everything is interconnected, the way the moments are interconnected, the way our own journey is interconnected, the different chapters of our lives, the world events. We're able to see this matrix, and it also amplifies our creative abilities, because it's connecting us to our own fourth dimensional self, to our awakened antenna as a child of God, as a child of the cosmos.
So from the chat room, Kellen Renando asked a question. So Jose spoke of divine timing.
José Argüelles' fundamental teachings are that humanity has been unconsciously programmed by what he calls an artificial timing frequency, that is the 12-month calendar and the 60-minute hour. That is actually created an artificial man-made timing frequency that separates us from the order of the universe. It separates us from the understanding of everything being interconnected.
Eden,
That's
I want to interject this. Thank you for your patience with me. I want to interject this. I love that you said the order of the universe. These are not just passing idle words. She meant that shit. The order of the universe. There is an order to everything. Without order, there would be chaos. Well, welcome to planet Earth. The point is, there's an order, and when things don't line in the order, chaos naturally ensues. As to why we can look out and about into our exterior temporal world and see that very lack of order. Thank you for bringing up that it really struck a chord in me. It resonated the times on my soul's tuning fork. Order. There's a natural order to everything. And it's truly, as the Lavender Soul song I played a little earlier, choice. It's just simply a choice to get into the flow. But here's the gig. We're always in the flow, but if you're not conscious of the flow, that flow will kick your pants. Would you say so, Eden?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's about becoming conscious of the flow. So that's what, just to finish the answer to the woman's question, that's what José Argüelles has done through his teachings. He passed away in 2011, but we are continuing to uphold his teachings because they are so life-changing, is that he revealed through the very simple mathematics. He studied the ancient Mayan calendar, and then he has brought forward this modern application of that. It is not the traditional Mayan calendar. He has brought through this system of galactic time that is for people of all cultures, that is utilized all around the world. So he took the fundamentals of the ancient Mayan time science, and then he also synthesized new teachings and new revelations. For example, that the teaching that humanity has been under a spell of what he called cosmic amnesia, and that we have been experiencing a memory virus because we've been trapped in artificial time. We feel that we're constantly running out of time. There's this idea that, January, February, March, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, none of that is time. That's not actually what time is. So his teaching is that time is the fourth dimension, and the fourth dimension can be mapped in these very simple ways. So then we can track these cycles and consciously enter into the conscious flow of synchronicity. So it does, my long answer to your brief question is that yes, utilizing these cycles does amplify your sense of divine timing. It amplifies it, and it proves itself ongoingly. That's why I've continued to make these for 24 years.
Eden Sky, I love that name, by the way. I'm biased, I guess. I love that we're talking about time, or the fact that it's not real. I notice for myself, as I sit in this chair daily, all day long, literally, doing exactly what I want to do, 24 hours in a day is not 24 hours anymore. It goes by like that. It's not dragging ass, so to speak. I'm living in this space of bliss, greater degrees of it the more I do what I do, as many of us do. But it just seems that time is just simply disappearing. It's depleting. It's melting back into infinity. I have said in many interviews, as well as my presentations, that time is real if you're in it, but it's not if you're in it consciously. Time, would it be fair to say that time is the overseer, ironically, paradoxically, that time is the overseer of infinity? Strange question.
One translation that Jose made is he calls it the galactic ordering dynamic. So it's important to recognize for me that what I would call the true time, it lives inside of us. It lives inside of us in our own natural rhythms. It lives inside of our intuition. It lives inside of our telepathic pulses. And we've been so conditioned to be trapped in linear time that we have not developed all of these capacities we have to actually be telepathic, to actually surf synchronicities without the socially accepted needs of the clock, for example. We rely on that to synchronize with each other because we've stunted our muscles of telepathy. That's what Jose taught, is that the number one reason we have not developed our telepathic capacities is because we put the idea of time as outside of ourselves, outside of our own bodies. So I believe what you're talking about is when you're feeling passionate and in the flow, the idea of linear time, everything it changes. When we experience stress and having to hurry and all of these things, there's many different experiences, quote unquote, of time. And the point is that what Jose's teachings are, and what the calendar is a map of the fourth dimensional nature of time, where he defines time is the universal frequency of synchronization. So
I want to interject here. I want to interject here. When you said frequency, not only frequency as in vibratory rate, it also implies a frequency. How often something frequently happens. In other words, that creates the actual oscillation. Be it a slow oscillation, time, it takes this many lifetimes, or if the oscillation is of a greater amplitude, which creates a greater altitude, hopefully via your attitude. So is that what happens? Carolyn even asked a question, Eden. She says, if we can conquer or move through time, does that prevent us from aging? Fantastic question.
I can say what I believe is that the more we live our lives connected to our hearts, connected to passion, connected to who we are as planetary artists, and giving our gifts to the world, I believe that will help us mature and or age as gracefully as we possibly can.
I sit in this chair every day and I go beyond time. I live in an infinite space. And look how good looking and youthful I look. I'm really digging this conversation, Sister. I really am. It reminds, in fact, just talking to you, being in your esoteric space, reminds me of such cosmic awakening. It's like something I'm just simply remembering all over again. Here we go to further go into Carolyn's question about, do we actually prevent ourselves from aging when we get out of time? Well, of course we do. It may not show that on the body, but when we get out of time, we realize the eternal, infinite beings we are, and then we begin to live in that eternal space. And that is where the bells and whistles of the spiritual woo-woo, the juju, the deliciousness, the bliss, the ecstasy. And I have no doubt, Eden Sky, on your journey, that you have dwelled, and still do, in this infinite space. Here's the crazy question. Can you use words to describe for me, so I can understand Eden Sky a little more, as well as my audience? Can you use words, it's your best attempt, to describe what it's like to be in that place beyond time?
Where I am a poem being recited by the universe itself.
Wow. It's like a beautiful love song or a sonnet. Something Rumi would write. Right? So, my friend Elwood in the chat room asked a question. I'm going to change it a little bit. How is, because he did not see into it, nor did anyone else, how is this calendar different than the calendar? It has the same days of the week. But would you go into, please, a little further about the meat and potatoes that they can find as they're, if you're going to have a calendar and you go to, you're going to buy a calendar and put it on your wall so you can see what day of the week and what everything is happening in your week, why not just purchase one of these beautiful things? So what is different about this calendar from the actual Gregorian time calendar?
Absolutely everything is different about the galactic calendar than the Gregorian calendar. So let me try to summarize. First of all, the Gregorian calendar, the months are uneven, 28, 29, 30, 31 days. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The Gregorian calendar is illogical, unscientific, artificial, and does not connect us to nature, much less does not connect us to the fourth dimensional nature of time and the cosmic ordering principle underlying. So this calendar does not start in January, does not run through December. This calendar is based on 13 months. Each month is 28 days long. So this calendar is fundamentally based on reclaiming the power of 13. In this system, 13 is understood as the power of the spiral. It is the fourth dimensional spiral. It is the power of circulation, the power by which everything is interconnected and everything transcends and continues on. Everything is actually a spiral. If you look at the patterns of growth, you will see everything spiraling. We live in a spiral galaxy. So the fact that we all have this linear idea of time, we are denying the actual spiral that we live inside of, that lives inside of us. So this calendar conceives of our journey around the sun as a spiraling journey of 13 months. And each of the different months has a different focus and a different quality. And then within that, every single day on this calendar has a different focus and a different quality. So you can still find in here that today is Wednesday, August 29th. You can find all of your Gregorian calendar dates are right there so that you can find yourself in fourth dimensional time. But what you'll notice is that every single day has a different color, number, and symbol. And that is the galactic signature of every day. Every single day has a different galactic signature. In fact, every person has a different galactic signature. There are 260 different galactic frequencies. Every day has a different one. So then you can read in the back about what are these energies, and you can pick one single word to focus on. And I guarantee you, anyone who tries this, if you check out this calendar and you pick out one single word for the day, it will start to unlock magical doors. This is why I'm doing this. I found this calendar found me when I was 18 years old. I had one word for each day, and it opened up untold experiences. And these qualities of each day are meant to unlock our wholeness, and they're meant to connect us as a microcosmic being to the macrocosmic order. So that this is the whole intention of it. So I could go on and on, but if I say more, it's going to make it sound hard. And the reality is, and then we also have art for every month. It has got full color visionary art that is, and quotes, that is calibrated to help you connect to the cycle. So again, every year has a different focus. This is the magnetic wizard year that we just entered on July 26th. So this new year is based on July 26th. We are in the white magnetic wizard year, and that has a whole significance. And then every 28-day cycle has a whole significance, and then every day has a whole significance. But they're very simple qualities to focus on, and they sound like words that maybe you already know what they mean. For example, today's focuses is healing. Everybody thinks, oh, I know what that means. But the idea is actually to go inside of that and in a deeper contemplation and access a deeper meaning, and be aware that people in 90 countries around the world in all languages are conceiving of this day in the same way. They're not just saying, oh, today is August 28th, 2019. And then tomorrow, one of the words is beauty. And then the next day, one of the words is purification, and then heart, and then play, and then free will, and then exploration, and then receptivity, and then vision, and then fearlessness, and then navigation. So like that, taking one key, one code word, and going inside of it and seeing what happens. And then you can track yourself and look at this 13-day cycle. Look what happened in this 28-day cycle. Like that. But the point is, it's fun and it's easy, and it's meant to be related to like a child learning something new. And in fact, when I teach this calendar system to children, they completely get it. They love the glyphs, they love the colors, and they don't have this idea that it's hard, right? They don't have to overcome.
They get it beyond. They get it beyond time. They simply get it. Everyone, my name is Keith Anthony Blanchard. Welcome to Center of Light Radio. Tonight, my guest is Eden Sky, and we're speaking about time to awaken your cosmic self. And Eden has been presenting this beautiful piece of herself. That's called passion. The artwork is ridiculously amazing because she understands quality. Quality. I love quality. I am a quality kind of guy. Speaking about quality, welcome to Center of Light, your life in quantity. Hanging out with you is my quality. I want to go into commercial break. We're going to be right back with my guest Eden Sky, talking about time to awaken your cosmic self. I want to bring something forth by this beautiful young lady. She's 21 years old. Her name is Ali Wallace. She wrote this song. I do open mic as a musician. I host an open mic arena venue. And she came in one night, this beautiful young lady, and just blew me away. Just truly blew me away. Listen to this song. Go get your tissue. You got 30 seconds. It sounds like a movie soundtrack. It's going to wow you. Welcome to Center of Light Radio. I'm going to be right back with my guest, Miss Eden Scott. Take this.
I don't know anymore. My mind and soul, they fight the war. Lost my faith in myself and everything else. Yet I'm so afraid to lose it all. I guess I'd rather try than die not knowing. I guess I'd rather fight than give up, hoping that maybe you would find the courage to grow with me. All I want is you, nothing but you. This won't work unless you want me to fight for me, dear. That's all I ask of you. So go ahead and reel me in again. Love me good and make me feel something. Promise me you'll never let me go. Go ahead and break my heart again. If you flirt, she's more than just a friend. Fool me twice, I guess this one's on me. But don't you ever expect anyone to love you like me. I don't know anymore. I ask I just know today, I guess I'd rather try than die not knowing. I guess I'd rather fight than give up hoping that maybe you and I can make it some way somehow. But maybe it is best to give up hoping, suffer through the pain of losing you, knowing there's still so much of me that loves so much of you. So I'll go ahead and break your heart this time. In the end, at least it wasn't mine, though this hurts me more than I can bear. I promise you'll find somebody new, and I know I'll find somebody who will love me for exactly who I am. But don't you ever expect anyone to love you like me. Oh, like me. You lied, I thought you were my friend, a thief who stole my innocence. I fought and lost, your heart was not the broken one. I tried to fight the fears that I had to hide, but in the end, I'll let myself be free. So I'll go ahead and love myself this time. Cut you off, get you out of my mind. The pain is dulled and I can finally breathe. I'll work on me and find somebody new, 'cause I know I'll find somebody who will love me for exactly who I am. But don't you ever expect anyone to love you like I did.
Welcome back to Center of Light, all my Yanavites. Did you listen to that song? That girl poured out her heart. Yes, that song is about loneliness. And one of those lyrics says, "You are a thief that stole my innocence." Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight my guest is Miss Eden Sky, and we're talking about it's time to awaken your cosmic self. Eden, I would like to move into this particular numbers thing that you talked about. 13. 1 and 3 is 4. Let me, I got to make a quick adjustment. One moment. Excuse me. Welcome back to Center of Light. Tonight my guest is Miss and Echo. So 1 and 3 is 4. 13. 1 and 3 is 4. I know that 4 is the numerical number for power. We have God, and then we have Jesus or yourself. So that implies 2, heaven, earth, duality. And then we bring in Christ consciousness, the phoenix rising, the unfoldment of the lotus flower, which creates the third something, which is the Trinity, the Holy Spirit, if we will. But there is a fourth something. So we have 1, the truth, the duality, which is true, the third something, the Christ principle, that happens and creates the third. But now when this other thing happens, it creates a power. My point is, the whole system, when it begins to turn within itself, like feedback from a microphone put in front of a speaker too close, it creates this ever-expanding loop possibility. Do you know anything about the number 4 representing power? And could you expound on that?
Yeah, I would be happy to. But I would like to clarify that what you're doing is putting 1 and 3 together to create 4, which is one thing. But what this is actually based in, I'd like to take a moment to clarify. This is based on the 13 tones of creation. This is based on understanding the mathematical order of growth. And these 13 tones of creation actually take us on a journey every day and also every year, 1 through 13. So as you said, in this system, 1 can be understood as the source, the indivisible unity of all of life. That is, so every day on this calendar, every 13 days, there will be a 1 day, and that is the focus. And then we have a 2-day, tone 2 of creation. And as you said, it is the power of polarity. From 1 comes the 2, right? So it's not real on its own, but the 2-ness comes from the 1. That's part of the teaching of the 13 tones of creation. So from the 1, we go into the 2 of polarity, and the teaching on that day is stability, to stabilize the challenges, stabilize the counterbalances. So every 13 days, that will be the focus. And then from 2, we go to the 3. And as you said, yes, it is all of the different trinities are encoded in this power of 3. There's now energy to move, to bounce around, because there's now 3. There's not just the polarity of 2. So that's what we call the electric activation. And then 4, your question was about 4. So in this system, as I think is a universal teaching, 4 is form. 4 is foundation. We have 4 limbs, we have 4 seasons, we have 4 elements. So in this system, 4 is the defining of form. It is, you have to have the 4-ness as a foundation. You have to have the clarity, the precision, the accuracy, so you can go on from there. So every 13 days, it'll be a tone 4. And then we go from there, 5, 6, 7, all the way through 13. And they all have a place in the unfolding spiral of creation unfolding. So that's the whole point, is we learn about, we go through that cycle over and over. Every 13 days, we start again at 1, and we go and we get to focus on these intrinsic tones of creation that live inside of us, that live as the universe. And then I want to say something important too. I want to make sure everybody listening or watching this, you can go for free on our website and decode your own birth date, and you can find out which tone of creation do you embody. And then there's 13 of them. So I am a 4. So I am all 4. I am all about form, clarity, precision, accuracy, making sure you have a coherent foundation, right? So there are, each one of us has a different one of these 13 tones. So Keith is a 7. That's very different than a 4, but they're all interrelated. So if you go to our website, 13moon.com, right at the top right, you'll see a button that says decode a birth date. And it just takes a moment, and it will tell you your cosmic identity. It'll tell you which one of these 13 tones that you embody. It's another way to understand yourself and your gifts and where you fit into galactic time. And then we'll also tell you which one of the 20 tribes you embody. So there's 13 tones of creation and 20 tribes. My tribe is the red Skywalker. Keith is a red dragon. And there's
Let me
20
ask you
tribes.
this. I don't want to make this about me, but because you brought it up, you said I was a 7 and I'm a red dragon. Give me a paragraph on the 7 and a paragraph on the red dragon. You did send me all that, but I want to bring this up for conversation purposes, and that was many days ago. Give me an idea of 7 and red dragon, please.
Sure. So 7 corresponds to the mystic void, the 7 chakras, the place where our chakras align, our Sushumna, and the energy, the mystical power energy flows through us. 7 is about understanding the resonant nature of all of reality, the vibrational nature of all of reality. So what you embody, one of the qualities you embody from this cosmology, and one of the qualities you have to inspire others, is to be aware of vibrations, to be aware that we are all influenced intimately by the vibrations that we run through ourselves, by the vibrations of our environments, by the vibrations of our interactions, and that we can attune, that's your word, attune yourself. And of course, you're a musician, so that's just one more expression that you are a resonant being, that you are in attunement. Your show is obviously dedicated. The other word is inspiring. So that, to me, if I could define you in one word, I would say you are determined to inspire people to attune to higher vibrations, which is exactly what your cosmic identity prescribes as a
That
seven.
is so amazingly freaking accurate. That is truly what I embody, Eden. That is truly. Thank you for that. If you would give me a little bit on the red dragon. What is the red dragon? We associate dragons with guardians of the gates, on mythical, not mythical, whatever those
mythical
levels are. Mythical, and what's the other word? Being someone of the Hindi faith, mystical level. So
mystical.
what is the red dragon? What is his deal? What is my deal?
So yeah, so I talked a lot about the 13 tones, and then again there's the 20 tribes. And I just want to clarify for a moment, the 13 tones of creation, they're encoded in our bodies. They're encoded in our 13 major joints of our bodies. We have 13 major joints. And then the 20 tribes are encoded in our 20 fingers and toes. So that's one expression of how the microcosm of the harmonic ratios of galactic time is encoded in our bodies, right? So there's 20 tribes, okay? So the red dragon is the first tribe of 20. So the red dragon in this cosmology is understood as the beginner, the initiator, that which births things into being, that which from the cauldron of primordial being makes things happen, initiates. And in this tradition, it's also understood that the dragon has all of this power to birth things because it has access to all the four elements. So it can fly in the air, swim in the water, breathe fire, walk on the earth. So that in this system, and again, I believe that you embody the dragon very well because your life is also dedicated to constantly, creatively birthing things, birthing your creativity to help other people birth things inside of themselves, to help other people awaken. And the other aspect of red dragon, because each one has 3 code words and you can go really deeply into them or you can just kind of get it. One of the code words of red dragon is being, and it's about connecting to our actual beingness, not just a human doing, but as they say, as Maharishi Mahesh Yogi said, established in being, perform action. So that's also one of your abilities, one of the gifts you have to give to help other people connect to who they are as a being.
That is so me, angelic lady. That is so me, dear Lord. That is so me. I love that you said from the yogi, established in being, perform action. When we take that observer posture, disposition, stepping back, people may think that just because you step out of the world, turn a blind eye, out of sight, out of mind. That's not true at all. In fact, when you step back in a state of being, in observance, then guidance simply interjection says, apply yourself. Step back. Apply yourself. Step back. That is so me. Thank you for that washing of your grace, dear.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I really do inspire people. Please go and decode your birth date. and find out what your cosmic identity is, and maybe you even want to post it in the chat or whatnot, and then you can access the paragraphs right there on our website that explains what these things mean. And it's a really fun way to awaken to your cosmic self, to activate your fourth dimensional self. It is the best way to enter into galactic time, is to first know who you are in this cosmology. So I'm a red self-existing Skywalker.
Let's see what's happening. I just posted into the forum the link to 13moons.com. Also, it was asked a little earlier, or said, beautifully stated, that I want this calendar. I want this calendar. I just posted it. You can find it there. Eden Sky, I love your freaking name. I love it. Everything about it is just gorgeous. It reminds me of my son. My son, believe it or not, Eden, when I think of my child, you just pop into my experience, and I send you blessings. Karen again asks another question, or makes a statement. Question: isn't dragon, or does dragon equal North Star?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Does dragon equal North Star?
That's not a teaching that I'm familiar with, but perhaps it is from another cosmology. So yeah, I'm going to be neutral on that one.
We're going to exist in duality on that one. We're going to let things just bip and bop back and forth. We have 15 minutes left, Sistar. What would you like to move into as your expression of sharing your sacred space?
Yeah, there's two things I want to touch on, and I think that's probably the right amount to share further. So I want to share that my teacher, José Argüelles, is a very profound man, and his body of work is immense. And he dedicated himself. He cared so much about the earth. He cared so much about helping humanity and society and global culture awaken to their actual capacities. So I have nothing but absolute respect and love for him and for the legacy that he's left us. So it is my honor to share these little pieces of his teachings, because his body of work is so vast that just these little pieces of his teachings are so profound, and they go very deep if we contemplate them. So I want to share another aspect of his teachings. So José Argüelles talked about how right now on planet Earth, we are living in a moment where we have inherited karma from other world systems that is playing out on planet Earth, as that is now our collective karma, that is now the karma of the planet that we have to navigate, we have to purify, we have to redeem. It is the work that we all share in. And he defined these karmic streams. So I want to mention these. I want to invoke these, because I think this is a very powerful lens. If it resonates with you, if not, that's fine. But for me, it really resonates, and it really helps me understand what's playing out right now on this planet and what the fundamental challenges are. So according to him, there's four forces, four planetary forces that have contributed to our cosmic amnesia, and that are the fundamental things for us to redeem, right? So the first one, I think we can all attest, the first one is materialism, which is also obviously the same vibration as scarcity, the same vibration as greed, right? It's founded in this idea that we are separate from one another. We appear separate, that the earth is just a big resource to be commodified. And this frequency, this karmic frequency, preys on everyone's fear and isolation, right? So then we have the unconscious consumerism that is destroying the planet. We all know this, right? So he identified as one of the primary karmic forces at play for us to awaken out of is materialism. And the way he defined the opposite of materialism, the other side, the illuminated face of that is abundance, is understanding the absolute true nature of the earth and of life and of ourselves as abundance itself. And from that, we are generous. That is actually the way to create prosperity, is through generosity, gratitude, connection
So
to
that
the
would
abundance.
so to echo your point, that would be exactly what you said just a bit ago. That when we fall into that space, we act from there. That is true abundance. When we get into that space, we act from there because we're acting with clarity, which creates a conscious clarity for all those who are in shouting or whispering distance of your frequency. Yes?
Yes, so that's the first one. The second one he defined as false spirituality. And what he meant by that is this this existence of paradigms that put forward the thought that as a human being, you need a middleman between you and the divine source. And so the antidote, the redemption of that is to understand that we all inherently have the right and the responsibility to connect direct to the source, to the divine, to whatever our terminology that we're comfortable with, to love, to the core of the earth, to the heart of the heavens, that we are naturally, inherently have that capacity. None of us need a middleman. There could be people that inspire us and teach us, but if it's a true teaching, it should be pointing us back into ourselves, into our own capacity to connect, right? So,
So, Eden, and please continue. How? Here's a big question for many people, and they need me to interject and interrupt you to ask this very important question. And yes, of course, we need to connect. And how is the question that you would offer this listening, viewing audience to connect? Is it rigorous? Is it, this task, this serious climbing up a mountain? How do we go about doing that very thing that you mentioned, sweetheart? Right?
I would say my experience is that if we desire to have the living experience of connection to the divine within ourselves, that we have to be aware, first of all, this is what I want. And then my experience is it is a study of refining my ability to stay connected to that, right? It's not just like, boom, right? We can all have these moments, right? And then we're like, scurrying around to try to get back there. So for me, I'm not trying to make it sound hard, but for me, it's a daily discipline. It's a daily discipline. So to be honest, that would be a whole nother, show to talk about that and talk about what I would advise. But one thing that I can say for sure from my own human experience is that by my determination and my dedication to align with my own heart, with my higher self, with the higher frequencies of my soul's capacity, that I have consistently been able to seat inside the throne of my own soul.
Oh my God, you did not just use that word seat. That's one of the words I use. I so love that, Eden. I love that. Like Eden is expressing, it does require a discipline, hence the word disciple. Jesus and the like, or Buddha, they had disciples, people who were disciplined towards said teaching. But what happens after a period, Eden, and this is also in the form of a question, what happens after a period is let's say a month. They say it takes 21 days to get into a new cycle, a new habit. So after a month, if that is scientifically true, things begin to happen and you no longer need to be applicable. You just go about your day because it's so ingrained and so in part of who you are at the time. In other words, you get to exist on automatic pilot mode because you created a new default, and you can keep in the discipline to keep reinforcing that. But now by default, your baseline is saying, I'm moving into this groove. Would that be a true statement?
I would say that yes, you can have a fractal discipline. You know, maybe it only takes you a moments to recenter yourself, rather than maybe when you start out it takes over an hour, you know, to use linear time, right, to really like find your center. To me it's about strengthening a muscle, if you will, of how do I live from the heart? How do I live from an awakened heart that is connected to the living earth, that is connected to the living universe, that recognizes that I, by virtue of being alive, am a creative vessel. I am a vehicle. I am, in my belief, the reason I am here is to contribute to the ongoing victory of love, to contribute to the upliftment of life. And I am not saying that there's not plenty of suffering, plenty of challenge, plenty of misery, plenty of tragedy. That is all true. We all know that. But that is even more reason, I believe, why I and you and we have to be, as we are, warriors of light. And it is our responsibility, our opportunity to learn what we each need to discipline ourselves to come from our heart. And even just the desire to say that I want to connect to my heart. I want to live connected to my heart, and to start being aware. Start being aware. What's motivating you? Why are you doing what you're doing? Start being aware. What thought are you believing? What voice are you listening to? What belief system is underlying? And start being like a scientist and examining inside of yourself. What is happening? What's happening? If you start feeling bad, you start suffering, immediately stop and go, whoa, what's going on? What am I believing? What am I afraid of? Right? And then you have to learn the practice that works for you to let go of it and come back to yourself. So it's a journey. But to me, it's the only real journey worth taking, because we affect everybody around us. We affect the planet by the vibration that we're at. So the more of us that are committed to being warriors of light, to being warriors of love, to learning how to live from our hearts and be a gift to each other, that's how we transform our culture. So I want to finish the rest of the two more things. So that is waking up out of false spirituality, right? Everybody being divinely empowered to connect direct to the source. And that's for everybody to explore and learn, and we can share tools with each other. And like I said, I could talk about that endlessly, but I want to complete this thought. So the third aspect of this planetary karma, of our collective karma, is sex taboo. And it's pretty easy to see how confused and distorted human beings' relationship to sexuality is, right? there's a lot of ignorance. People are very lost, right? And there's a lot of manipulation. Okay, so I could probably talk about that for a whole show. But the point is...
So as of now, you and I in Q have about 4 shows.
So
please continue.
Just to give it a real snapshot, right? So the redemption of the sex taboo is in really understanding our sexuality is an aspect of our natural life force. It is a holy aspect of who we are as creatures. It is sacred, but we have to connect our sexuality with our hearts. As soon as you do that, it changes everything, because our hearts know and feel and sense that everything is interconnected. So our hearts will never harm anyone else. We are really connected with our hearts. So to me, if I could wave a magic wand and help all 7 billion people on the planet just connect their sexuality, their primordial creature energy with their hearts, which would then connect them to their higher selves, boom, completely different world. Okay, so that's a whole other topic. The final one is death fear. Okay, and we all also know in our culture there's a huge confusion about death, and we deny it and we avoid it and we cover it up. Okay, and death, as we all know, it's quite obvious, right? And as Buddha himself said, death is the greatest teacher above anyone else, right? It is a natural part of the universe, of existence, and we have a completely limited fear-based concept about death, right? So we need to invite the beauty and the truth of death as an element of nature, as part of the greater cycle, understanding the continuum. And I can say, I have another show we could talk about. I have absolutely, once people have left their bodies, I have had supernatural communications from them. So that's part of it too. When a person drops their body, the journey continues. Anyway, so those are the four, qualities. And I wanted people to know that, to have an understanding of this is the kind of context that José Argüelles is coming from when he's looking at planet Earth. He's looking at the fundamental karma that we're all collectively processing through. And in light of that, his prescription is that we awaken to the fourth dimension through going through the portal of the galactic calendar, through finding out your cosmic identity, through checking out the calendar, cycling with it, see what happens. See, how do you experience magic? See what happens. How do you awaken to your cosmic self? It's a journey that will look differently for every person, because there's no right or wrong way, because time is art. Life is art.
That wasn't a mouthful. That was a heartful. You are a magic girl. I love it. Thank you for being here on Center of Light Radio, giving us your presence, your grace, your love, your passion. I love you are passionate. How do I know that? Simply by looking at that calendar that you sent me and that coincidentally arrived today. The art, no pun intended, is beautiful. Everything is so on point. The color scheme, everything is balanced. It's representative, reflective of you, Ian Sky. Thank you for being here, dear.
Thank you so much, Keith. I really appreciate the opportunity to have some fun with you.
What else is there, sister? Other than having fun with me, meaning just having fun with your life. If you're not having fun with your life, you will die with regret. Everyone, Eden Sky. Tonight we have been speaking about time to awaken your cosmic self. Show her your love. Give her all those kudos that she deserves. She's not egoistic. It's about recognizing something that's beautiful. And she is that. My name is Keith Anthony Blanchett. Welcome to Center of Light Radio. I'm not sure, but I may do a cave session in about an hour. Not sure. I'm open to the idea. I don't have a title. When I go into the cave of Samadhi, like my sister, Ian Sky, it's about that place. It's about that space. It doesn't require anything else but that space. I love you beyond measure. It is my pleasure to be a part of the treasure that you are. I got this from my father. I got this disposition from my dad. And I'm glad. And he's fucking rad. I love you, Dad. And I love you. Keith Anthony Blanchard, I might see you shortly. And in fact, I'm not going to divulge this or push it forward and make these posts on all these sites. If you're